Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. I'm making it at 11:57, so technically it's still morning, but who's kidding who? And this is my second cup of coffee. It is raining outside. We have the remnants of the storm that went all across Florida and up the East Coast, and I don't even remember its name. I hope everyone fared okay who were affected by this storm. We were only supposed to get a half an inch or an inch, no more than that, so it won't be any big deal for us. Maybe a little bit of a muddy rug. So happy Veterans Day in the United States. It is November 11th. Fun fact, this was originally Armistice Day because on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, World War II ended on, I guess I'm not sure what year, 1919, 1920. And it was to honor and celebrate peace, which is, I think, a concept we might want to try to incorporate into our Veterans Day while we honor our veterans. But anyway, so today is Friday. Yes, today is Friday. I am having a little trouble with that. I need to get Aura's... Or Dennis bought Aura clock that says, the date at the top. Then it's, right now I'm sure it's sitting there saying Friday morning and then the time, because she was having trouble figuring out what day it was too. And so Dennis got her that clock. It's sitting in her sitting room at the moment. So I could go in and say, what day is it? And she would know. Anyway, so my plan worked yesterday. I sat in my room for actually longer than 10 minutes because I watched Christy's floss tube and I'm not sure what else. And I straightened up and I made noticeable progress. One thing I did, see my pencil jar? It's very full. It's got pens and pencils and highlighters and scissors. I had 2 of these completely full that have been sitting on my windowsill in the room that became the sitting room for years and years and years. Some of these pens were pens that I got from work. I've been retired 8 years, but most of them are even older than that. So I went through every pen and tested it, and I threw away a heck of a lot of pens, let me tell you. But I ended up with a stash of pens that I know work because we've been going crazy downstairs. We haven't been able to find any pens. So I took a stash of pens downstairs. So now we have pens. So now I don't have to buy 200 pens at Staples when I finally get there. Maybe only 50. But that was part of my project. I was just like cleaning up stuff and making progress. And I really did make progress. So there you go. But I have a lot more work to do. And so I will continue to do that. I have Leslie to watch today. And who else? Who knows? So I will be doing that. We are going tomorrow to Aura's other house. She decided she didn't feel like going yesterday. I think she's never going to feel like going, so either we go without her or we just say we're going. Get your walker. Because she doesn't really want to go anywhere these days. Which, I take it as a compliment that she's very happy here. But I do worry about it a little bit. I do make her get up 3 or 4 times a day and walk around the circle in the house 3 or 4 times. So it's not like she's sitting all day, but yeah. But this morning kind of worked the way I had envisioned our lives, in that she got up and she went in the sitting room with in her jammies, and she had a cup of coffee in there and sit with her cat and watch her TV, and that's what she's doing now. So that was what I envisioned the mornings to start. Now, we haven't set up her Keurig yet, so I need to do that. I did buy a few K-cups while I was at out and about the other day. So she could make her own coffee in the morning if we showed her how to do that. So I think we need to set that up at some point today, and then in the morning show her how to use it, and maybe write up a little instruction card so that she has it there so she can read it, because, she's having trouble remembering things these days. So, you know, if we have a little card she can refer to, I think that will work very well. But I think she should be able to make her own coffee in the morning. And, yeah, be a little independent in the morning as she would like, and watch her TV with whatever she wants to watch, and cuddle her cat. And then when she's ready for a human interactions, she calls us and we help her come down her elevator chair. And she giggles every time. It is a little bit like a ride, only it's really slow. So yesterday, besides cleaning up in my room, which I did some, I made super lemon juice because I was running out, and I'm not sure what else. It was the kind of day when we were coming back, we walked from at about 3:30 walking the dogs, and Dennis is like, I have been busy all morning, but I didn't get anything done. And I'm like, well, you got a lot of things done. They just weren't on your list. He only has big things on his list. Now, unfortunately, my list hasn't been kept up very well. So I was busy all morning too. And if I'd had my list up to date, I might even have been able to cross a few things off. But of course, now I can't even remember what I did. But it doesn't matter. We were busy till we got home and started feeding the dogs and feeding us, and, you know. Anyway, and I worked on my blanket a little bit last night, so that was good. So I'm working on some crafting and trying to figure out a plan for my crafting. But meanwhile, I'm really enjoying puttering around in my room. The one thing I haven't figured out yet is my watercolor materials, and so I will need to be doing that. That'll be the last thing I do, I think, because I'll get all this junk organized. And but there are fewer things on my floor. Some of what's on my floor now is trash. I think I'm going to end up just throwing these out. Well, I'm not going to throw them out. I'm going to stack them in the basement. I don't have anything to do with them here. So I'm going to put them in a bag, mark them, and put them in the basement. You know, we have a lot of that kind of stuff in the basement. But I can imagine a future where I would say, oh, those plastic drawers would be perfect for this. And then I'll have them in the basement. And it's possible when I go to do my art stuff. Maybe. I don't know, obviously. All right, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'll let you know tomorrow, except I'll probably forget like I did today. But I'm working on it. We're working on it. And things are going surprisingly well, calm, and relatively stress-free, having Laura living with us all the time. In fact, there was a lot of stress involved with her being 15 minutes away from us because, you know, she really, at the end, shouldn't have been living alone. And she knew it, and we knew it, and that's why we proceeded. But when she was there, it was very stressful because, you know, we had to go over sometimes several times a day. We had to call her to remind her to take her pills and hope that she was doing it, that kind of thing. Now we stand over and say, here you go. And now she takes her pills, and it's just a matter of going up the steps or not even, and that kind of thing. So we know she's safe. We know she's eating well, and yeah. And she seems to be happy. All she needs is a crossword puzzle book. She's pretty content. And easy listening on the TV and a crossword puzzle book, and that lady is perfectly fine. And then she goes up and cuddles her cat, and all is well. So that's what's happening here. And meanwhile, it's a rainy day. I don't even know if we're going to be able to walk the dogs. We'll have to see. We may have to walk them in the rain. Not my favorite, but it's okay. They need their walks. Especially when it's raining, because Maisie will go out in a heartbeat. She loves to be, she'll be wet all the time. She doesn't care. She loves it. Pearl, not so much. So we'll see how the day plays out. But meanwhile, I am going to go start my day. And I will be working in here. Oh, the other plan is Dennis and I made a date to work on the bookshelves in the hall. And so that'll be nice if we can get the hall straightened out, because we have scheduled the cleaners to come on Thursday. So the house will be clean Thursday night. I'm so excited. So we have booked the dogs into doggy daycare for Thursday. Part of the strain and stress of having someone in cleaning the house was dealing with the dogs, because they love people and they go crazy. And then, you know, I mean, it's okay if it's a beautiful day, we can sit out in the backyard and make sure they, you know, they're out all day. But we're getting into the kind of weather where we're not sitting in the deck all day. So anyway, they're going to doggy daycare. That's the new plan. And I think that's going to work out really great. So they'll go to doggy daycare once a month. We'll have the cleaners in once a month, and we'll see how it goes. Well, you'll find out on Friday. Meanwhile, we have a lot of straightening up to do, and I have all kinds of piles and corners and things, you know. They're not going to be working in here. I'll keep this clean or not, as I do. But I did tell her that every once in a while I might want them to vacuum. But other than that, no dusting or anything like that. I'll take care of that or not. Anyway, there you go. Please, please take good care of yourselves. Please stay safe and stay sane.